So here we're visually finding common denominators and making sure that we connect that to the algebra. Okay, so here we have 2/3, we have 1/4. So we're going to rewrite this in terms of the common denominator. So I need the common size pieces. So I need to make this into 1/12 pieces. Okay, so how many fraction pieces are in each circle? Well, let's first of all get the common size pieces here. So I'm going to divide this into 12ths. Okay, so I have my 1/12 pieces here. And I do the same thing here. I'm going to divide this into 12ths. Okay, this one's a little bit harder to do, but do the best I can. Okay, there's my 12ths. So how many fraction pieces are in each circle? Well, when we talk about 12ths, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I started with 2/3, and I did it in groups of 4. So now my new fraction here is going to be 8/12. Okay, here I started off with 1/4. I did groups of 3, so I end up with 3/12. So if I want to add these together, then now I can say that I have 8/12 plus 3/12. That's going to give me 11/12 as my answer. Okay, so I've got the same size pieces. Here I want to have the same size. I've got a 1/8. This is going to be a 1/8 fraction. Okay, this is a 1/2 fraction. I want to have the same size pieces. Well, I want the same pieces, so I'm going to split it up like this. Okay, there's lots of ways you can do this. This is just one. And so I've done it into groups of 4. So I've done times 4 times 4. And so I'm going to end up with 4 out of 8 pieces. Here I don't really need to, divide it up. Maybe I should show that I have, 1/8 pieces here. And so if I want to add these together, I now have 4/8, 1/2 plus 1/8 equals 5/8. Okay. Here I have 1/2. I have a 1/2 fraction. And here I have a 2/5 fraction. So I need to get common size pieces. Well, I kind of know that my common denominator is going to be 10. So how am I going to split it up into groups of 10? Well, one way to do it is I can just do groups of 5. And notice that that's exactly half of that triangle. Now, if I didn't want to do thirds, this would be a bit of a problem. But now I could actually divide it up into the same size pieces like this. So I did this into groups of 2. Okay, or sorry, groups of not 2, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did groups of 5 here, groups of 5 here. So I did times 5 times 5. Here I'm going to do the same thing, except now I'm just going to split it up into groups of 2. So that's going to be times 2 times 2. So my new fractions are going to be, I have 5/10 here, and here I have 4/10. If I want to add these together, 5/10 plus 4/10, that's going to give me 9/10. Okay. For this one here, it's a little bit harder, but you got to think of how this is. Again, I'm going to write the fractions. This is 1/2. This is 1/3, and so we should have this idea that this is going to be doing in groups of 2 to get 6 pieces. This is groups of 3 to get 6 pieces as well. I'm going to start with this one here because it seems kind of obvious how I should split this one up. This one's going to be split up like this into groups of 2 because I need the same size pieces. So I could just split it down the middle. So it's symmetrical. So I'm going to split it down the middle and I'm going to get my 2/6 fraction. Well, if I want to get the same size pieces or the same shape here, I need to do the same thing. And I'm going to just kind of use that symmetry. Okay, do it into thirds like this. And then I can split it up. Yeah, I've got it split up into 1/6 pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to see this half is in groups of 3. Groups of 3 is not, it's kind of oriented funny, but these are exact same pieces. So I've done it correctly. So groups of 3, groups of 3. And so my fraction is going to be 3 out of 6. Now I have a common denominator. If I want to subtract these, it looks like I want being asked to subtract these. So 3, 6 minus 2, 6 gives me 1 out of 6 pieces. Okay, so there we have. So I'll make sure that you do some practice with these. Okay, there's some links for the visuals here. Make sure you do some practice with these with that the previous one, the previous link here. Okay, using the fraction circles. I'm not too sure if it's yet this one here. The fraction circle one, make sure you do at least 5 of these on your own, just to make sure you understand how and see and feel how you get common denominators and how that proportion is affected.